Very sad day here at TFL because our trusty Land Rover rescue rig, the Discovery 2, is now officially up for sale. That's right, we're getting rid of our 2004 Land Rover, and this makes me very sad because the last year and a half of this truck have been pretty phenomenal. This right here is the ultimate reason we are selling that Discovery 2, because this is our new long-term Land Rover LR3, and I always like to say the only replacement for a Discovery is, well, another Discovery. So I think we're gonna start a build-up on this vehicle soon, get some bumpers on this, get a little bit of a more aggressive tire, maybe a winch on this, so this can be your new recovery rig. We can retire the old one. You know, at some point doing these video series, you guys out there just get kind of tired seeing the same thing over and over, so we're freshening it up with this LR3, and we'll see what this is like in the long term. We bought this truck with 145,000 miles on the clock. It now has 154,000 miles on the clock, and it has been, well, pretty much dead reliable. We bought this truck a year and a half ago for $5,300. Take a look at that clip now.
Kevin, this is the truck. Yeah, I like it. Tell me about it.
I've had it for about 14, 15 months or so.
Yeah.
As built up as it is, I never really took advantage of much of that.
Yeah, I love, you know, what drew me to it was I love the lift. It's got a really nice stance. An ARB front bumper. We've got a Warn winch with pretty cool synthetic cable.
Yep.
Can we pop the hood? Can we look into the...
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah. Looks clean, huh, Tommy? So you said sometimes ABS light comes on?
It does.
Yeah?
Yep.
And you said it leaks from the valve covers?
Correct. Sometimes you can see it off the rear right there.
Alright, let's look underneath. Let's see how much oil's underneath.
Probably got a little puddle.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, it's a Land Rover thing.
It's a Land Rover thing. I love how they offset the diff, the pumpkin. I think that was on purpose, right, Tommy?
The idea is you have the most clearance possible on the driver's side, and then they're in line on the passenger side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good. Has it ever left you stranded? Has it ever, you know, like kind of broken down on you?
No.
No? That's good.
It's always started. It's always, for what we've done, gotten us home.
I love this kind of high command driving position where you're sitting up high and you're kind of looking over traffic. That's one of the cool things about Land Rovers. Now, the brakes are squishy, so I'm thinking...
Could be better.
I'm thinking this is going to need some brake work. Yeah, they're pretty squishy. All right.
Great.
You just sold yourself a Land Rover.
So how much has this Land Rover cost us in the last year and a half? Well, once we purchased the vehicle, we had to put about $1,500 getting it completely up to snuff. This included a lot of that brake work. Then, once we had the vehicle pressure tested for a head gasket leak, as well as some of the fluids changed, we were pretty much good to go. The only thing we've had to fix outside of regular maintenance was a rear diff leak, which just needed some tightening of the bolts on the rear diff. Other than that, we did replace a plastic cowl piece in the front that was old and cracked. That was several $100s, as well as the rear bumper and rear fog light assemblies. That was also about $400 or $500. All said and done, we have about $7,200, $7,300 into this Land Rover all in all. But insurance has been very affordable, registration has been very affordable, and it's even passed emissions on the first try. So we're out here in Boulder, Colorado, and we've had plenty of adventures with this truck up in the high country, driving through the Rocky Mountains. But one of my favorite adventures is when we took this Land Rover and compared it against our cheap Jeep, which was a Jeep Wrangler TJ, and a Suzuki Samurai out in Moab. And actually, this truck has been to Moab twice now. I took a long kind of overlanding trip, but this vehicle is surprisingly capable on the highway. And as you can see in this video going to Moab, it can keep up with the Wrangler off-road.
Here we go, coming down.
Turn the wheel more, driver. Okay, you're good. Okay, that's good, stop.
This is where Tommy got stuck, and this is where my traction control should help. Wheels will start to spin, and the car will shunt power to the wheel that has traction, making that look about as easy as it can be, huh? Didn't really need to work very hard there. Yeah, you know, this truck really is a little tippy off-road, a little slow, a little kind of wandery down the highway, but when we get out here, oh boy, it just comes into its own. You can just feel that deep-baked British off-road DNA that makes this such a champion off-roader.
For a vehicle that's so notoriously known for unreliability, this Land Rover has been dead solid, and we've taken it on some fun adventures. For example, take a look at this old Discovery versus new Discovery off-road clip. Big turn, traction control working, there it goes. Just a constant supply of gas, and there we go. Crawled right up, absolutely no worries. Really impressive.
Made it look easy.
Yep, traction control working to distribute torque where it needs to go.
You're gonna go not around the hole, but in the hole?
No, I'll go into the hole on this one.
All right, that hole's getting deep, dude.
Yeah, but have you seen this truck, how badass it looks? That'll make that hole look like a puddle. Anything else, so I'm just gonna crawl this. The Land Rover's philosophy has always been as slow as possible, as fast as necessary. I'm just going into the hole. It's got immensely deep line. But it crawls right up. Impressive stuff, Land Rover. Impressive.
Made it look easy.
Yeah, this thing is just a monster. I mean, that old traction control system from 2004, it still works even today.
Until the 3 Migos come on.
Well, yeah, until it breaks, which it will. But for now, it's working brilliantly.
In an old disco, you never travel alone.
You never travel alone.
You always got the 3 Migos.
You betcha.
New tech is wonderful. We'll see how it does 14 years from now. There's a stump here I want to avoid. Uh-oh. Oh. It's figuring it out. It's figuring it out. Made it look easy. And you know, the Land Rover saying is as fast as necessary, as slow as possible. And seeing that I'm in the Land Rover, that's exactly what I'm going to do. There's 2 trees on either side of me up here. It can get a little tricky, especially in something that's very wide. But let's see how new tech tackles stage 3. A little bit of momentum. A little bit of momentum. Now, passenger side goes up in the air. Driver's side goes in the hole. Truck is really working. And there we have it. That was no big whoop.
Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of Discovery ownership over the last year and a half. The pros is, well, the off-road capability. With solid axles front and back, this Terra Firma lift kit, and these big tires, this thing will go just about anywhere you point it. Three-inch lift, oversized tires, ARB front bumper with a worn winch. This thing is really set up for overlanding, and I am stoked to be out here in the beautiful Colorado Rockies on such a nice day. So why are these Land Rovers renowned for their off-road capability? Well, it really is the same reason that a lot of vehicles are renowned for their off-road capability. That's because we have solid axles and a body-on-frame construction. Simple as that.
Tommy. Oh yeah. We lifted that wheel pretty high. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. You hit the tree a little bit. That's okay. Made it look easy, dude.
Just like that, we're through. Another pro has to be the interior. I love the seating position in these old Discoveries. You sit high. This command driving position means you can see everything in front of you. The interior is well laid out. It's surprisingly nice in here, so soft leather over absolutely everything. And it's just been a really great experience. I love the way it looks. With the roof rack, we had a tent up there for a while. Just a super fun vehicle. Now what about the cons? Well, I thought it would be reliability, but within the last 9,000 miles, really nothing is broken. This vehicle runs and drives exactly like it did the day we bought it. But fuel economy is certainly a con. So that 4.6 liter V8 up front is terribly inefficient. On a good day, we may get 13, but it's more like 11 to 12 in everyday driving, which is to be expected in an old soot bomb like this with 33-inch tires. But other than that, it's been an absolute pleasure to drive, an absolute pleasure to own. Hasn't really cost us much outside of a ton of fuel, and I would strongly recommend you look at one.
God save Her Majesty as I get off the exit to declare victory for the British. I feel like over the next horizon there should be a pride of elephants.
And I don't care what you drive. Like, I'm open to all sorts of vehicles, but your truck doesn't look as good as this one. It just doesn't.
I have absolutely fallen heads over heels in love with this. And I'll tell you why. You know what this is like? What? It's like that mutt that you find rummaging behind your house.
A mutt?
Yes, a mutt. And over a period of a month, you absolutely fall in love with it. And you come home one day and it's made a little bit of a piddle in the house and you don't care because it's your mutt and you love it so much.
And we have a ton of videos on our TFL channel about this Land Rover behind me. You can see it off-road, you can see it compared to newer vehicles, but overall I have to say that the Land Rover Discovery 2 does not deserve the reputation that it has here in the US. I think they are fantastic vehicles with one caveat. If you already use this as a daily driver, I think you're gonna be feeling it after just a few months, because between gas costs and just kind of overall running costs of keeping these old beasts on the road, you're not gonna enjoy the experience. But if you're like us, put about 10,000 miles on in a year and a half, use it off-road, use it like it was meant to be used, and then have kind of a smaller, more efficient daily driver, this vehicle makes a lot of sense, and I would strongly recommend you go out and take a look at one. Since the filming of this video, our Land Rover has found a new home in Salt Lake City, where it's going to live out many, many years of fun-filled off-road adventures and ski area duty. We're certainly going to miss this truck, and some of you out there probably will as well. But things have to move on. It's time to go on to new and bigger adventures, and that means it's time to look at new and more exciting project vehicles. As always, this is Tommy with the Fast Lane Now. Head over to TFL Car, TFL Truck, and TFLOffroad.com for the latest and greatest in Land Rover reviews.